adjusting down. Okay. When is the Right Time by Regine Gwyneth Templo Nuevo. Self-inflicted harm warning. There is mention of self-inflicted harm. Please take a moment to process this information and continue as you see fit. You know that feeling when you're a couple of months into a casual relationship and you're ready to say those 3 words? You know, those 3 words. And you kind of brush it off for the first couple of weeks, especially because the situation that you're in is teetering between the friends with benefits label, and since you are friends, you kind of don't want to ruin that friendship by saying those 3 words. So evidently, you just keep pushing the words away until all of a sudden it's your sibling's 21st birthday, and for some reason, it feels like the right time to tell the guy you've been seeing for the past 3 months that you're madly and obsessively in love with him. But instead of saying those 3 words out loud, you just kind of end up word vomiting all the feelings you've kept away into a handwritten love letter and hand it to him in bed. You know? That feeling? Have you ever been in that situation before? No? Just me? Truthfully, it kind of feels like a universal feeling. I mean, minus the realization that the guy you've been seeing for the past 3 months might potentially be the love of your life on your younger sibling's 21st birthday. But besides that, I know there have been a lot of you out there who contemplate the idea of the right time. Like, when is the right time to say those 3 words? When is the right time to propose? When is the right time to go to the gynecologist? When is the right time to pay off that warrant that you accidentally forgot to show up to court for? Or when is the right time to sign up for grad school? Besides the last question, I can't tell you when the right time is. But for those of you thinking of applying to grad school, don't. It is definitely not the right time. It is never the right time. I mean, yes, I think all people should get adequate education to make sure they are able to interact with people and the world, and so they make informed choices and decisions to hopefully not fuck anyone over. But at the end of the day, you do not need grad school. Now, going back to this philosophy of when is the right time, does anyone have a clear answer for that? Or does one have to be omnipotent to answer that question? For a moment, I want you to think of someone who is extremely devoted to their religion. You get 1 point if the person you thought of was yourself. 2 points if the person you thought of was Filipino. And 3 points if you thought of my papi, Rolando Santos. You see, I grew up in a traditional Filipino household, and nothing is more traditional than putting your children into Catholic school. Y'all. I'm just trying to emphasize that I was not just Catholic. I grew up Catholic. I was born in the Philippines, a country where they start Christmas countdown in September, and where people would participate in nailing themselves to a cross during the Easter season just so they could experience what Jesus had gone through. When I immigrated to this country in 2005, I lived in Huber Heights, a small suburban town in Ohio. I was enrolled in a private school called St. Peter Catholic School, where I was baptized, received the Eucharist, participated in reconciliation, went to church 2 times a week, and the only thing I looked forward to was, can you guess? Duh, to eat stale wafers and to drink really gross cheap wine. Y'all, I sang in the church choir. I even got confirmed, adding a 4-letter confirmation name to my already 30-letter laundry list Filipino name. The Catholic Church's teachings are ingrained in my bloodline. But while I am no longer religious, the idea of God's timing was always something that gave me peace. There's this phrase that most Filipinos know, bahala ka sa buhay mo, which in English translates to take care of your life. While this feels like an expression of excitement and assurance that you have control of your life, the phrase is usually expressed by a frustrated Filipino mother who's under 5 feet tall and is holding a slipper by her face as a threat. Bahala ka sa buhay mo. My mother said this phrase to me when I told her that I stopped going to church. She also still says it after every single tattoo I get. And if you're wondering, she's 4'11". But regardless, bahala ka sa buhay mo is my version of God's timing. For a month, February 4th through March 6th, I unexpectedly got let go from my job. Had to break my lease and find someone to take over, sell 55% of my belongings, got rid of beloved items that I had no room to keep, went to urgent care, lost friends who I thought would be in my life forever, started coughing up blood, lost my voice for many days, had to get 9 fillings, laser gum therapy, a crown, a root canal, and to top it off, was called in for jury duty. I don't really think experiencing all of that was what I wanted, nor do I believe that those moments were the right time to experience such life-changing events, but they happened. But you know what else happened? I was reminded of who my true friends were. I was supported by my community. I relearned my love for art and theater. I raised $1,105.98 for Food Not Bombs. I started taking voice lessons and can finally sing again. I touched some grass. I went camping. I went swimming in the beach twice. And to top it off, I celebrated my 6-month anniversary with a boy who I was so afraid of telling those 3 words to. We're also moved in together and living happily with our cat, Prince. While the right time may never truly show itself, I hope now, more than ever, we continue to choose the people and the places that choose us, the people that fight for us, the people who love us. Because who knows what will happen in the next 10 months, or the next 10 weeks, or the next 10 days, or even in the next 10 seconds. All I know is that I will continue to lead with love in my heart, and I hope you can do the same. Also, to the boy that I was so scared of telling those 3 words to, I am no longer scared of expressing my love. Gerardo, wherever the world takes us and whatever it throws at us, I always want it to be you by my side. I hope this is the right time for me to ask, because I want to experience everything that life has to offer and spend the rest of my life with you. Will you go to prom with me? Marley Moon is having a prom-themed listening party at Dan Electro's next Thursday, and I want to go to prom with you so bad. But if now is not the right time, I can ask you later. I love you endlessly. Always yours, Regine, Gwyneth, and Santos, Templo Nuevo.